Hello, and welcome to 6DOF Reviews. I am Pete Austin. Today I will be giving some off-the-cuff impressions of the game Against. Against is a combat rhythm game that is currently not available on the MetaQuest. It is a PCVR title and has been available on PCVR for some time and has also made its way over to the Pico ecosystem. Now, why has it not come to Quest when it clearly can run on the device and is a reasonably good game? I wonder if there's anything particular that's stopping it. So anyway, before we get too bogged down in which platform gets which, let's talk about the game itself. Now, Joyway are more renowned for their fast-paced movement games like Deadhook and Stride, but a little while ago they did take a foray into rhythm combat games. So the whole premise is it's a little bit like, and without being derivative, it's like Pistol Whip had a weird baby with Beat Saber. You move forward along a straight trajectory in the same manner that you do in Pistol Whip. You have enemies coming towards you that you attack for extra points on the beat. You can dispatch them without doing it in time with the music. You just don't get as many points. So it has those elements. What it does do, which I think is really quite cool, is it provides you with a number of weapons, a number of options with which you can dispatch your enemies. As you move along the straight path, different weapons will be placed in front of you, and you've got to mix it up between 3 or 4 different attack styles. So there's a pistol, there's a sword, there's your bare fists, there's a Tommy gun, and these will all appear at various intervals, and you will use them on the beat, if you so choose, to destroy your enemies. The first thing I will say is it is a fairly exhilarating experience when you get into the rhythm of it and you can see the timing and it all starts to work. Swinging the sword and chopping your enemies in specific directions in time with the beat, swatting away bullets as they come at you with a sword, and then getting your brass knuckles out and punching somebody in the face at the time of the beat is really cool. Like it obviously works. Rhythm games are really popular in VR for a reason, and then you apply that same rhythm technique to an action game, and it still feels really cool. It is very good. It's not perfect. I'll get onto that. So that all works very, very well. The music itself, while it may not be everyone's cup of tea, I think it's really good. I think it's electronica. I'm going to, if I try and label the subgenre of electronica it is, you will really be able to tell how old I am. I'm clearly a middle-aged man and no longer have the grasp on the various subgenres, and I won't embarrass myself other than to say that it is quite fast, quite hard. It's got a real driving rhythm to it that is really enjoyable to play an action type game to. It's mixes between different inspirations. You'll have some that feel a bit more metally. You've got some that have like a kind of bouncy hip-hopness to them at the same time, maybe a little bit of dubstep. Told you I wasn't going to do that, but then I did it anyway. But yeah, so the music is quite good. The actual idea of combat to the rhythm, also quite good. Graphically, it works. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it graphically at all. It doesn't dip any frame rates when it gets a little bit hectic. The art style is a little bit comic booky and cartoony, a little bit dark and gritty, but it really works. I guess some of the character models, like, they feel a bit big-heady in a way that, I don't know, I think that my one criticism of the art direction is it almost goes a little bit too cartoony on some of the character models. But other than that, like, it looks really, really great. There is no visual reason to knock it. It's very, very decent. And as I said, the sound, the music is really good. The effects that tell you what you need to do when you need to do it, that all works. So there's a lot of positive things going on. And at this point, you might be thinking, hot damn, this could be my new favorite game. Pete Austin is telling me to go buy Against. And I'm not telling you that, but it is probably important to have a little chat about some of its limitations. And I think all of that comes down to content. And once upon a time, Joyway were highly criticized for starting games and not finishing them. Outlier, my poor Outlier, you were so beautiful. And although the corpse of Outlier is reanimated in the form of Deadhook, it's just not quite as good. Anyway, so I think Joyway had a stab at doing an action combat game, and for whatever reason, I'm not going to try and guess at it, they decided, no, let's just park this, let's not go back to it. As such, it is, at least it feels abandoned. Abandonware is the term. It's got, oh gosh, I don't have it in front of me, I feel so poor. I think it's got between 8 and 10 tracks, which is, interestingly, what Pistol Whip launched with, but it's seen no updates since. There doesn't seem to be anything new coming in. It's just kind of stopped where it is. That's one of the big downfalls, because once you've played these tracks a few times, you've found your favorite, you've played it on hard, which by the way is bloody hard at first. It is a bit of a challenge. After a while you start to think, well gosh, where's the rest of it? And that's I think that's one of my big criticisms. The other thing that I would say that really holds it back is in the level design. And you find with other rhythm games, what you'll find is, quite often songs have repetition. You can verse, chorus, chorus out, and, however it's going to go. Most rhythm games won't just have one section for the verse and then one section for the chorus and just have you repeat the same sections. They'll mix it up a little bit. This is not 100% accurate of against, but it very much feels like there is more of that repetition. Like when they were programming the level, they sort of identified 3 musical sections within the song and went, great, we will just do 3 sections that correspond to that. So, snake guy, duck, bullet, and then off you go. And when it gets to that bit again, we'll just repeat it. It feels a bit lazy. It feels a little bit like both the music and the level design were done as a test. I won't say in a rush, but done as a test to sort of go, do people like this? And if people like this, we'll start to put a little bit more depth into it. But I think because it didn't have that more depth, people didn't like it quite as much. So anyway, that would be my own only other criticism. The volume of content that exists isn't huge and has almost completely dried up, if not completely dried up, and the actual content that is in there can, on occasion, follow a simplistic pattern of repetition. But as I said, take that aside, the general mechanics, quite good. The music, quite good. What I didn't mention, because this is off the cuff, this isn't recorded, is there is a little story. There is, like with Swarm, and similar games like that, there's little 2D cutscenes with cool comic book style graphics that link a little story to tell you why you're progressing through these scenes. And it does actually get to the point where it makes a difference. You'll have boss fights, you'll be descending into hell effectively, and big demons will try and stomp on you, and you will have to hit them with your sword or your gun or your brass knuckles. So that's really cool as well. A lot of rhythm games don't have that. And it was a really great foundation. Had they perfected it, nuanced it, made it work really, really well, people had to have engaged with it, and then they had to have kept delivering content, this could have been a really successful, let's say it could have been an 8 out of 10, I would say. Where it sits now, and I've played it for about 2 hours on the PC and about an hour and a half on the Pico, and they're almost identical, just slight graphical differences. I would probably say it's about a 6.5. 6.5 unfinished is where I would put this if it was a review. Is it a review? I don't know. Is 3.5 hours with the game enough for me to confidently tell you that it's a 6.5? I'll let you decide. You decide. Anyway, that's it from me. If you enjoy the channel and would like to stay up to date with all the news and reviews, particularly if you're interested in Pico, because we've just added that string to our bow, hit the subscribe button. It's the little button and it says subscribe. And also, feel free to like this video or not like this video. Who cares about my self-esteem? Please like me. No, I don't need that at all. Anyway, have a good evening, or morning, or portion of the day.
We put on our goggles and dive into the zone. 60 OF reviews, we're never alone. Virtual reality, a world so bizarre. Join us now and reach for the stars. Subscribe, what are you waiting for?